Hey everybody, QuestWise here, and today I just want to say thank you. Thank you because we've reached 300 subscribers here on the YouTube channel, and I can't say that I've ever dreamed of getting to 300 subscribers. Now I know 300 is not a lot, 300 is not astronomical. There's lots of other YouTube channels out there who have, tens of thousands that deal with gaming and stuff like we do here on the channel, but 300 is kind of blows my mind. 300 people that subscribe to the channel that actually want to see content from me on a regular basis kind of amazes me. So today, what I thought I would talk about be kind of a different type of a video today. I guess I wanted to talk about my journey and how I got to here, how I went from what I was doing before to 300 subscribers on the QuestWise channel. I guess it takes a little bit of a story, a little bit of a backstory, and I got to go back a few years, quite a few years actually, to when I was in college, in and about 1994, 95. Now I've talked to you all before, and if you watch some of my other videos, I've talked about my history with gaming and how I came to be involved in the hobby of tabletop role playing and some of the stuff I've done before, but I don't know if I've ever talked about this part of my history, and how I got to where I am today with the QuestWise channel. But like I said, it all begins back when I was in college in 1994, 1995. And I met a guy named Wes. And when I first met Wes, when we all first met Wes, nobody really liked him. He seemed to be kind of a loud, kind of crass sort of outsider. Outsider's a bad term. He was just loud and he was crass and he was different from a lot of the rest of us. We found out at one point that Wes was also a gamer. He was also a role player. And he joined our group. And to fast forward through a little bit of boring stories about role-playing games, Wes and I, above everybody else in the group, became best friends. And there's sometimes in life when you meet somebody that person becomes so instrumental into the development of your life, who you become so close with that there's sort of this bond that's eternally unbreakable, no matter how far apart you are in life. And that was how Wes and I became. Over several years of being in college together, we bonded to an extreme level. And after college, kind of went our own separate ways, but Wes always sought me out. We always found each other. Well, about 12 years ago, Wes died. Wes passed away from melanoma, skin cancer. And I knew instantly that there was something within me that I wanted to do to honor Wes. And I wanted to share with the world what Wes meant to me. And so I created a one-day event called Gaming for a Cure. It was held at a very small little local game store. And we charged $5 to get in, $5 to play all day. And all the proceeds from that would go to the American Cancer Society. The first day, during that one event, we made about $75. $75. And although we only made $75, I felt that I had at least sort of honored his memory, that I had at least sort of done something that sort of shared what Wes's vision was with the world. I ran a game of Dungeons and Dragons that day, second edition, for a group of people. Some of them were friends, some of them people I had never met before. And I used a lot of Wes's favorite enemies to run that game, because that's what we did a lot. Sorry, we have a new kitten in the house, and she's terribly crazy. And I have her trying to tie it up with a toy over here, but it seems to be getting a little out of hand. Anyway, back to the story. I ran a game of second edition D&D for Wes, using his favorite enemies and for a group of people. And so I felt like at the end of that day that I had done some good. Well, the day after that, I got so many emails and so many phone calls about when the next event was going to be, because people had missed it or people wanted another one. I hadn't anticipated doing a second event. I hadn't anticipated doing any more. And that one event snowballed into an annual event, which snowballed into 3 events a year. And then that snowballed into being active for 12 years. Gaming for a Cure, giving money to the American Cancer Society, and to helping out. We did help out a very local family who was in great need, whose son had a cancerous brain tumor, and they're traveling back and forth between our small town and the next biggest cancer hospital. We did a lot of stuff with Gaming for a Cure. But after 12 years and a slew of volunteers that helped me out, which I can never thank those guys enough, I sort of lost my passion for it. I didn't lose my passion for helping people. I didn't lose my passion for helping fight cancer. I didn't lose my passion for gaming. I just lost my passion for coordinating these events. And so I didn't want the vision to die. I didn't want it's a small convention. I guarantee half of you, 95% of you, have never actually heard of it. It takes place in one little small town, once in the summer, once in the winter, and once during a comic book convention that happens here in town, in our little northern Michigan town. But I didn't want it to die. I didn't want it to fade away. I had poured so much of my soul and so much of my love for Wes and gaming and helping others into this for 12 years. I didn't want it to just end. So I turned to my volunteers. Charlie was one of my biggest helpers. And I turned to him and I said, I can't do this anymore. Because I feel like if I don't have a passion for creating these new events and creating these awesome ideas as far as things that we can do and ways that we can branch this out, that this is going to suffer, and that's not good. I don't want to see it degrade and then just disappear. So Charlie took his group of volunteers that helped us out for years, and he said, you know what? It's time sometimes in life that you need to move on to a new passion, a new idea, a new endeavor. And he agreed to continue the vision of Gaming for a Cure. And he has done so for the last couple of years and has made it better than I could ever imagine it. And I appreciate him and all those people that he has gathered for that. After having to decide to do that, my wife and I had talked about stuff. What do we do where do I go from here? What's going on with this? I had some goals in life. I wanted to pursue my passion for the love of tabletop role-playing games. I wanted to do something with that. I wanted to do anything with it, whether it be just to run games at conventions or to actually ultimately publish some stuff. I was approached by a group of kids, and I call them kids because they're 20 years younger than I am, still adults, but 20 years younger, who were looking for a dungeon master. They wanted somebody to run some games of D&D for them, and they were going to start a YouTube channel, and they were going to broadcast live on Twitch, and they were going to do all this great stuff. And they had they're going to build a studio and then backdrops with green screens, and it was going to be multi-camera. Basically, Critical Role is what we were looking for. We were going to try to do something that emulated Critical Role in that sort of thing. And now we knew that the scope wouldn't be quite as big, and none of us were amazing voice actors. But we wanted to try something on that scope. So I said yes. We met several times, but after several times of... And I don't want to say the game was bad. The group of those guys together... very, very dynamic. It was a very large group as well, though, too. I want to say there was maybe 7 or 8 people involved. All of them I cherish as friends now. All of them I really respect as role players, storytellers, myth makers. But due to technical difficulties and delays and things, and the person who was in charge sort of moving away, it never happened. It just never panned out. So, I had already created the channel. I had already created the page. I had already commissioned the artwork for the logo. And I decided I wanted to still do this. I still wanted to try something, anything. And so I took a chance. And you can go back and see my initial video, my welcoming video to the QuestWise channel. It's horrible. It is utterly crazy to think back to video number 1. But I started, and that was the key. That I started somewhere, and I was excited. I was terrified, but I was excited because I had lots of stuff I wanted to talk about. And as the videos rolled on, I began to meet people, and I began to have private conversations on the side with other YouTube creators. And I played in a few games with people like Jeff Cape over at God Emperor Leto II. I was able to play in some, like online games with other internet creators, YouTube creators. And then I met Eric Bloat, and Eric and I'd like to say hit it off pretty quickly. Eric's a great, great guy. He has a great, great company. And Eric took a chance on me and asked if I would write some stuff as a vampire supplement for Dark Places and Demogorgons Kickstarter. And to me, that was another dream fulfilled. I was doing what I loved. I was talking about games that I was very passionate about. I was playing them now with other people. And I finally was able to publish some of my ideas. And I've gone on to work with Eric on a few other projects, and we have a few projects in the works. I'm going to be working with Eric and Bloat Games and Runehammer Games on Vigilante City, and I'm super excited about this. It's going to be a huge project. Can't wait for you all to get it in your hands. It's going to be a little bit further out. Kickstarter's a way out, but man, you people are going to love this game, and it's going to be an awesome collaboration, and I can't wait to be a part of it. Whatever my part is going to be, or whatever part of mine it happens to be. Then I also, because of my passion for Palladium books and Palladium fantasy, I was recognized by them, and they reached out and contacted me, and I became a media partner to Palladium Books. Another dream fulfilled. Now I'm sort of like part of the game that sort of began my entire passion for the hobby. I'm now working for that company. I'm now doing stuff for them. I'm trying to promote them. I'm pushing on their thing. And here we make it to today. Actually, last night when we hit 300 subscribers. But I didn't want to do a video last night because my wife was watching TV and it was chaotic around here. But 300 subscribers. This is a super long video about me rambling on about my love for all of you and for the games and the times of the past and Wes, my friends, and Eric and Jeff and all these guys. I just want to say thank you. I want to reach out and say thank you so much to every one of my subscribers. 300 was more than I ever anticipated, and I hope to continue on. I hope to, sky's the limit, you know, and but I just, a very heartfelt, warm thank you to all of you who watch every time I put out a video. And next week, this Monday coming up, stay tuned. We'll have part 2 of the Lore of the Megaverse Palladium Books Road to the Palladium Open House video. Will be put up on Monday. Yeah, again, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of QuestWise. Here's to the future, everybody. Huzzah! Until next time, I'm QuestWise, and I'm out.